I'm live. Hello everybody. Today we're gonna make Hainanese pork chop. Welcome to our Sunday family recipes. Today I'm going to show you one of my secret family recipes created by my mom. She used to work with the British during the 60s. So I think this dish is a combination of both British and Hainanese dialect or the culture. So you will see some of the ingredients. It's quite similar to the British way of making pork chop. My name is Esty. You are watching Esty in Sweden. I do live cooking on every Sunday for family recipes, and if you're new here, do consider subscribing. On Wednesday we will have live chat, and also Friday we will have like fast, easy recipes. So if you're new here, welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to make this as fast as possible. I have actually prepared this in advance so that we do not waste time. All right, so let me just put you guys closer to what is in front of me. So you guys on Facebook are also joining us today. So you guys have a very good view, right? Right here, Facebook. So over here we have some pork chop. Pork chop is being thinly sliced. It's about half a centimeter thick. The one that I bought, usually if you buy pork chop, they are quite thick, right? So what I do is I remove the fat and then I just cut them into half. And this is like a half centimeter thin. So what I did is that I use, you know, the one that you hammer the meat. Instead of that, because I can't find that as usual, so I use, you know, the mortar, and I just hammered it. So if you don't have the mortar, you can use a hammer also, but make sure you have like a plastic on top, and you know, and of course your hammer has to be clean, not the rusty one. All right, so don't blame me if somebody die, okay? So don't use anything that is rusty. So always fantasy. If you can't find hammer, just find something heavy, you know, enough to whack this thing up. So 5 pieces of this. This is going to be enough for 3 person. So this is it's fresh one, it's not frozen one. So I'm going to marinate this. So this is going to be the first part. I'm going to show you how to marinate this, because this will take at least 10-15 minutes to let the flavor come in with the marinade. And then I'm going to show you how to do sweet and sour Hainanese sauce with chickpeas, some pepper, some cut carrots, some onions, and also quite a bit of garlic. So if you don't eat garlic, it's okay. If you're somebody who is allergic, I have heard about people who are allergic of garlic. So if you don't have garlic, but of course garlic is much nicer. Yeah? Welcome. So this is all we need, and then we need to mix a sauce. So while the meat is marinating, we will mix the sauce, and then we will fry everything. I'll fry the pork chop, and then we'll make the sauce. All right. So let's get started. First, you want to marinate the meat. So how I usually do is I try to do it the most. My mom always said, you know, make sure that the meat is dry, and you need a spoon, okay? And then we have let me see. We have some cooking oil. Not cooking oil, some tiao. All right, if you have some Chinese cooking oil. So, not cooking oil, what am I saying today? Chinese cooking wine. All right, so you want to mix this in a small bowl. Small bowl. And then over here we have some of this paste, the one I like to use often. This is the fermented bean paste. So you can buy all these ingredients in my Amazon store. So the link is in the video description. So Facebook, if you don't have the link, don't worry. I'm going to give you the link later on. So you need about a tablespoon of this bean sauce, which is very important in this dish. And then you want to have some of the Chinese wine. If you don't have cooking Chinese wine, it is okay. You can use a bit of sherry too. And then some salt. A bit of salt. And then you want to have some white pepper. Okay. That's all. And then you want to just mix this in the bowl all together. Then it's more mixed, right? So you want to pour them onto this meat. Okay, now let me just take my chopstick. I'm so used to chopstick. I have a chopstick that is different pair. Okay. So the part where you beat up the pork is very important, because when you do that, it actually helps to tenderize the meat. Okay, so you let this sit for 10 minutes at least. Right, as you can see here, we're going to put more stuff later. We're going to put some egg in here. I might as well do it now, right? So let me get one egg. I'm going to use the same bowl as this. And you want to just whip the egg and just pour over to the pork. The egg also somehow help to tenderize the meat a little bit. So let them sit and hang out. Okay. So now this is all evenly mixed. So now you're going to put this aside. Yeah, let this marinate for a while. While meantime, I'm going to show you how to mix the rest of the sauce. I cannot pronounce this word. Worcestershire sauce, if you know what I mean. I have just a tiny bit in my bottle, so I squeeze literally everything out from that bottle, and this is all that is left. You need about a tablespoon, and you need about a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, and then some ketchup. Okay, I'm gonna put about 3 tablespoons, right? Quite a bit. And then mix this, and you want to put some what do you call that, water too, because this is going to be really thick if you don't put sauce. Normally I like to put vinegar, just a tiny bit, but today I'm not going to do that. I'm going to add, my mom always put this the plume sauce. So if you don't have this, it's okay, but this is the authentic style. So just about 1 tablespoon of the plume sauce. Okay, and then you want to mix a little bit of the water. just a bit, about 3 tablespoons of water. That's it. It looks a little bit watery, but don't worry, because you're going to be cooking this with the rest of the ingredient. So you will notice that it will be slightly thicker, but you need a cornstarch to thicken this later, because this, when you heat this up, it will just be water. Alright, so now let's do the pork. So over here I have some people don't have this at home, breadcrumbs. If you don't have breadcrumbs, you know what you can do? You have some old bread, right? Just put them in the toaster and then just, you know, put a bit high heat. And then you let it roast until it's like brown. And then you put them in a mixer and then you mix them. Or you can use crackers, like salted crackers. Just put them in a mixer. And there you go. You get your free breadcrumbs. But if you don't have breadcrumbs, this is the way. But I have breadcrumbs. So I'm going to be using breadcrumbs. So I like to pour this into a big plate. Maybe a bit more. Okay, and then I need another plate to put everything together. So let me get my first piece of the pork. So just imagine, okay, because you know you guys probably going to fall asleep if I'm going to make everything in what do you call that, or have to wait, right? So you don't waste the time. Let's put this one on top, like this pork. My mom used to work with the British during the 60s, and she's well exposed to, you know, the food that they eat, because the British people, they always tell her, oh, we want a combination of, you know, our food, but then we want the flavors of your food too. So I think Hainanese pork chop is really popular during the 60s, when a lot of Chinese people starting to come out, they work, and then they have to make money and earn, you know, raise the family. So food in Singapore is actually quite a mix of, you know, a lot of Portuguese influence, and some of them to be, I come to realize it's a lot of influence. So do Singapore have its own food? Yes, we do have our own food, but our food is a mixture of, you know, different culture. Alright, so this is done. Number 2. I'm just going to have 4 pieces. So me and LG, we will take 2 pieces each. So in Singapore, we have this, we call it the hawker center, where you go to like a food court, and you sometimes, if you're lucky, you can find this dish. And usually they are very popular, long queue. People are queuing for this dish. It's a very, very popular dish. The reason why it is popular is because most of the Chinese people, they like pork. And this sauce is quite refreshing. It's a bit like a sweet and sour sauce. Alright, we come to realize when I make this, it's actually quite similar to sweet and sour pork. Except that, you know, sweet and sour pork is like in cube form, right? This is not in cube form. Now, last piece. What do you want to eat this with? You can eat this not just with rice. You can also eat this with noodles. Some people like to eat them with wonton noodles, or, you know, just fried noodles. This is a quite a flexi dish where you can eat them just as it is also, but it's much nicer if you eat them with rice. Traditionally, it's been eaten with rice. So breadcrumbs, done with the last piece. Okay, this is how it looks like, very thinly breaded. So now we're gonna cook this all together. Let's go to the stove. Facebook. Let me see if Facebook got a good view, and of course YouTube too. Okay, let me just on the heat. And I want to have quite high heat from the beginning. Oh, it's very loud. You can deep fry this, but I'm going to pan fry this. You don't really need to be deep frying this. Can you guys hear the sound? Okay. I prefer to use a chopstick. It's easier when you are cooking with this kind of pan. It's much easier for me to control. But if you're not used to chopstick, then you can use like a plastic tongue. This works too. Yeah. So I'm going to try and use this one because I noticed a lot of my audience are not used to chopstick. So let's wait for this oil to heat up. And by the way, over here I have zero waste again. I didn't throw away the bone from the pork chop that I deboned. So I made some soup out from this because this soup is really cozy, really delicious, especially winter. We have about -7 degrees today, so this will be perfect. So rice is over there. I haven't really cooked yet because we had the coffee just before I come on live streaming, so I will not be hungry for at least 1 hour or 2. So let's try just a little bit and see. Okay. So now I want to reduce the heat to number 7 because I don't want this to be too hot. Let's see, right? Don't overcrowd it, because when you overcrowd it, then it becomes watery, then you will get splatter. I want to increase. And then, meantime, get ready with a plate with paper towel. Okay. So now, see, it's already brown from one side. It means that it is too hot. So I'm going to just put this over gently. You don't really need to cook them for a very, very long time because this meat is quite thinly sliced. So you just want to make sure your heat is not so high because you want to cook them properly. By the way, I would like to warn you guys because you guys know this is live cooking. I have a lot of comments telling me, oh, can this be faster? You know, that's the purpose of live cooking. We are doing this live so that you can see exactly how much time on real time and real situation. So if you think that this is not the kind of video for you, you know, it's okay because you can always watch replay and then you can always fast forward this. I do not know whether you know about the features, but YouTube, if you check onto the right hand corner, there is 3 dots there. You will see there is a place where you could fast forward or maybe speed up the video a bit so you don't have to waste time. Alright, so this is done. I'm going to put the second piece in. You see it's quite crispy on the top already. Let me just cook. This is slightly thicker. I think this is done. Alright, so I'm just going to see this with a bit of crushed beef. So, one here, this number 1, and 2. Okay, now we are almost done. Let me just show you closer how this would look like. You can feel it's kind of crispy, right? So you want this to be with this nice golden brown. What my mom used to do with this is that because we are a family of 5 kids, 1 adult plus her is 6, so usually she like to cut them into smaller pieces. So she divide them among us because there's so many to eat. So this is a way, we're having some luxury, but then you know she cannot afford too much of a meat because meat during the time is really expensive. So we do have a really fortunate time when my mom was around. So she tried to give us the best, but then we get to try just a bit. And she's often interested in cooking and learning and upgrading herself. She even goes to cooking class in the evening when she has time. So I always stand by and wait for her to come back so that you know she could give us a bit just to try. So I think my gene is somehow I'm quite similar to her. So this is almost done. So when this is done, I'm going to use this pan. Throw away the oil because the oil is like quite black, right? So you don't want to use this oil. So I'm going to throw away the oil and then I'm going to make the sauce. I think this is done. Okay, this is done. Yeah? So I'm going to make this one to the top of this recipe. So I can put this piece like this. Let me see if I have a bowl I can throw away the corn. Okay, I'm going to off the heat now because it's done. And I want to make sure I don't have so much oil. I'll be back in a while. This pan, all I have to do is to use a towel because there's a lot of flavors in this pan today. So just get a towel. It's hot. Okay, let me just go to the because there are too much black stuff, so I decided to wash it instead. Just with water, you don't need to wash them with dishwashing detergent. Alright, so on the heat. So now we're going to make the sauce. I'm going to just put some cooking oil. Some garlic. Onions. And because these are not frozen carrots, so I'm going to put the carrots in here to cook for a while. You guys probably wonder what is Hainanese, right? Hainanese is actually a dialect. It's from the region Hainan, Hainan Tao, part of the China. So my ancestor was from there, and my dad's side, my grandfather's side, I mean. So he is a Hainanese. We are multicultural family because he has 4 wives and I speak 8 different languages, and which is not impressive because most people from Singapore, they speak at least between 4 to even 10 different languages. So I'm no different. Okay, now this is softened now. So you want to add in the pepper and then the green tea. So let me speak a few words in Hainanese, okay? If you want to learn Hainanese, how do you do? Like how are you? It's like do all bo. It means how are you? You know, Are you good? So it's a language that I grew up with. My mom speaks Hainanese with us, and we speak Mandarin nowadays, even though we have different languages. So I'm gonna add in the rest of the sauce. Okay, I need some more water. Okay, I want to just put this. I smell that. I think this sauce itself is kind of thick already. If you want a thicker version, you can put some corn flour, warm some water, and then you add them into the sauce. So now, let's off the heat. It's perfect. So now this is done. So what you want to do is that, let me just show you the plate over here. Can you guys see or not? So this is a pork chop that we made, and I'm going to just remove the plate with the towel removed. So you want to transfer this over to this plate, and what we can do is we pour this whole thing on top. But to make it easier to eat, I think usually I like to cut them into smaller pieces. So how I do it, instead of using a what do you call that, a chopping board, I use a scissors. So I'm not going to pour them now because I just want to show you how this can be served. It's much easier, especially if you have children. If you give them a big chunk of meat, sometimes they might get choked. So cut them into smaller pieces. Okay, so just arrange them nicely, something like that, and then you pour the sauce on top. But you know, for me, I prefer to dip the sauce. Okay, the reason why I do that is because I want to taste the crispy side. So usually I have the sauce on beside a bowl. I'm going to pour them into a small bowl so that I could just put them onto my plate when I eat them. So for styling, I'm going to just put everything together, and I'm going to take a picture from the thumbnail. So there you go. How many of you like to eat it this way instead of pouring? Let me know in the comments, right? Because so I know I'm not alone here. If you like this video, give a thumbs up, and I hope you can join me in my next video. Right now we are celebrating Christmas, and I hope I can do a live streaming tomorrow. This is going to be like a bonus live streaming. I'm going to make the famous Swedish saffron bulla. It means saffron, something like cinnamon roll, but in a Swedish way. So I'm gonna do a live streaming. So it, because cinnamon roll takes really long time to make. So it's going to be a long live streaming. So if you're into it, don't forget to subscribe, because, and don't forget to put the notification bell on, because when you do that, you will get a notified by email. You will hear a tone in the telephone that I'm going on live. All right, bells on, and I hope to see you, and have a nice Sunday, and I hope you enjoy this. And if you have tried this, let me know. What are the secret ingredients in this marinade? There are 2 secret ingredients in this marinade. If you know what they are, let me know in the comment. I'll give you a shout out if you are right. All right? So, guys, have a nice day. Enjoy your Christmas. And I hope to see you again. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Facebook and YouTube.